The next great resource for local weather is now available.
DigitalWeatherDesk.com is your source for up-to-the-minute local weather. Add DigitalWeatherDesk.com to your favorites, download our app, and follow me on social media. The Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.
Hey folks, thanks for joining into the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. A little after 1 o'clock on this Saturday. Thank you, sweetheart, as she brings me some food. I think the tone and the mood for a lot of folks has started to shift a little bit as we've gone from the excitement of a winter weather event to now. Conditions are starting to deteriorate for a lot of folks. Power outages are starting to mount, things of that nature. And I sense across the region the mood is starting to change a little bit. And what I mean by that is simply, as I turn down my phone, is that we're starting to see power outages mount, travel impacts. As you take a look at the traffic cams along I-20, we're running into issues at our own home. That last live stream at noon was very, very short-lived, as we have a screened-in porch right outside my window. I'm looking at it right now, and it has a little metal awning roofing and a little screened-in porch, and the ice jam had just started to pack. Dinah says it, I think, best for everybody. This is not fun anymore. And in all seriousness, we were starting to have some leaks, and electrical runs out to that screened-in porch, so we have a refrigerator out there and a lot of electrical things, and so water and electricity doesn't mix. The water was starting to leak pretty quickly, and the only other time that I had seen the water leak that aggressively was back in 2021 when we had the freezing rain and the sleet and snow and stuff like that. So I needed to take 30 to 45 minutes to essentially save that screened-in porch. And so I was a homeowner for a second, stopped, and went out there for the last 45 minutes. I was soaked. It's cold. Hands are hurting. Feet are hurting. But again, I think we may have saved it for now. I think we're probably delaying the inevitable because eventually that ice is going to pack down overnight, and we're probably going to run into problems with it either way. That, again, is just a small feature of what a lot of folks are enduring, and I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me because, again, homeowners or property owners across the area are all dealing with similar issues, especially now as we've transitioned from more sleet to more freezing rain, and that's going to continue to create some issues. I know that there's a lot of power outages across the area. Miss Hannah says it's the sounds in the area for me, the transformers blowing and the trees falling. That's the sound of an ice storm. And without sounding completely over dramatic, we're in the midst of what will likely be a pretty significant natural disaster in our area. Again, there's a lot of areas that are already starting to see power outages. Trees are starting to really weigh. Power lines are starting to really accumulate the ice. And on top of that, this is just the first wave. We are still awaiting the second wave that will move through the area late tonight and early tomorrow. A check of the water vapor imagery, and there's that big sprawling upper low making its way across the Pacific coastline currently. So we got a long way to go. And so for a lot of folks that are looking at the current conditions across the area and going, I tell you what, we can't take much more ice or we've got a leaky roof or something like that. And along those lines, a lot of us are starting to run into issues. And again, the concerns start to mount, the anxiety starts to mount. Again, we were running into the exact same issue here at our house. So I understand. But these are the types of things that unfortunately we've been trying to warn folks about as the potential for a very wide encompassing significant ice storm. Temperatures continue to hover right near the freezing mark as of the 1 o'clock hour at the Monroe Regional Airport. In fact, as I take a look, the temperatures have warmed a little bit, just enough to probably change us back over from sleet to freezing rain. At ULM currently, they are measuring at 31.42 degrees, so we are just below freezing, but far enough below freezing that, again, we are running into the issues of freezing rain instead of sleet at this point. Plain Dealing, Dubach, Farmerville, Homer, Lake Providence, Delhi, Rouge, Columbia, Gina, Colfax, Alto, Ringgold, Winfield, Monroe, Sicily Island, all below freezing at this hour. So whatever is falling will continue to accumulate as frozen precipitation. The winds are out of the north-northeast, and again, if you've stepped outside and spent 30, 45 minutes, outside, it is not a festival by any stretch of the imagination. And the apparent temperatures, the feels like temperature, the wind chill, whatever you want to call it, well into the single digits in some spots, 20s for the rest of us, as we take a look at power outages across the area. And again, excuse me while I take a little bit of a swig of Gatorade. I am gassed at this point, to be honest with you. That was a lot of work for a guy who doesn't work out very often, trying to make light of the situation. In all seriousness, we hear about it every year in the Northeast. People have heart attacks when they're when they're shoveling snow because of the weight and the strenuous work. Again, icy slush was a nightmare to try to move around. And again, a look at the power outages. The weight continues to be an issue. In Ouachita Parish, now about 9.5% of customers are without power. So that's almost 10% of customers in Ouachita Parish. You can see we're surpassing the 10 to approaching 20% mark in Bienville Parish. So again, power outages are starting to stack up across the region. Road conditions are less than ideal and will continue to get worse. Road temperatures obviously at or below freezing for most locations as well. Quick check of airport delays. Haven't seen any yet. Maybe because they just shut everything down. I don't know. But haven't seen any yet. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. Again, there will be a lull in the precipitation tonight before the next upper disturbance moves in around daybreak tomorrow. And that will likely bring us the heaviest round of precipitation across the area. In terms of accumulations, I'm beginning to wonder if these are they may very well be underdone, meaning that we may be going over this. Also, again, a reminder that 211 United Way. If you're overwhelmed, stressed, don't know where to turn, they can connect you to resources and services in your area. It's a free call 24/7, 365. Just got it. This is going to be an issue that we're going to start running into as well. As you take a look at the ice storm warning, it's folks that are saying they're starting to flood because the drain areas are starting to clog up with ice and slush and stuff like that. So we're not able to give the water somewhere to go. We ran into that problem in Concordia Parish back in 2021, and it eventually prompted some flash flood warnings. So on that note, I just need folks to be aware that if you're struggling right now, if you're out of power, the ice is starting to mount up, if you got a leaky roof, all these types of things, I don't want to make you I'm not trying to make you feel better about yourself, but you are not alone. This is going to be an impactful issue and an impactful winter storm for a large group in the ArkLaMiss. And again, we've kind of screamed that for the last week, and it's hard to, again, messaging is so delicate because folks don't take you seriously if you're going to sit there and tell them that you're looking at a catastrophic or a crippling ice storm. And I really shied against using those types of terms. But as I look at what's unfolding across the area, that's pretty much what is underway for the vast majority of the region. And the chat's not working, so I got to go back. I got to go back to the old school chat. And that's the other thing. As I look through some of the comments, a lot of folks, talking about the scary sounds. Yep, aluminum patio covers leaking at the roof line. Yeah, I think a lot of folks are going to run it. If you have a metal roof or like a screened-in porch roof, and it's not part of your actual home's residential roof, there's a good chance a lot of those are going to come down. I know a lot of folks are talking about greenhouse roofs. Or one of my neighbors, I had to borrow his. Thank you, Mr. Eddie. I had to use his ladder, and they were having problems. Patios caved and busted. 3 inches of slush on your vehicle, Jeremy. Yeah, that's about what I shoveled off just a few minutes ago. It was about 3 inches of just slush and nastiness. So that's where we are right now. I'm going to take the next little bit, as you take a look at the radar and we kind of wrap things up. We will eventually kind of resume and try to return to normal at some point here. And now that water has stopped pouring in on my back patio, I can take a look at some of the pictures that you guys have submitted. I can kind of look at our next round of precipitation, start looking at the computer models for that. But we are in full-blown what we call Nowcast mode. which means our job now is not to tell you what's going to happen, although we will still continue to tell you what happens tonight and tomorrow. The main focus now is what is happening currently across the region. Make sure that you avoid travel if you can. For those that have lost power, again, charge those mobile devices. As you take a look at I-20, looks like West Monroe police are out there on Stella Street, or near Stella Avenue or Stella Street, as you take a look at the precip that continues to fall down across the region. I said it a lot earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and end it on this. This is going to be a marathon, not a sprint, folks. We got a long way to go. We've still got a couple more hours of this precipitation. We're going to get a lull, and then we're going to ramp it back up again tomorrow. I do have a small glimmer of hope. A small glimmer of hope. Not much of one, but I have a small glimmer of hope that somehow we can pull some warm air in with the overnight disturbance enough to the point that maybe we can get some areas above freezing and turn that into rainfall. I'm not overly optimistic about it. Next update will come in a couple of hours. We'll get reset, and I'll let you know when I'm going to join you again soon. As everybody's just kind of getting down into hunker down mode now. It's 1:15 on Saturday, and the newness of this has kind of worn off, and everybody's like, all right, this kind of sucks, and I totally understand. I agree. But we'll provide you updates as we go through the rest of the day. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. As always, I'm so glad you're here. We'll be here with you through the rest of the day, through the rest of the night, and through the rest of the weekend as we continue to deal with this winter weather situation across the ArkLaMiss.